in Ohio, and now we've got YouTube online. So if you're watching, let me know how the stream's coming through, and comment where you're watching from. But this is the live view here in Clinton, Ohio. The sun is just about ready to go down. And just got back, was up north shooting some real estate and shooting the Route 8 bridge. Did a live stream over the Route 8 bridge replacement project going on. Check that out if you're once you get done with watching this video, if you're interested in seeing that. But they've got the new southbound bridge complete, and they're getting ready to demolish the 1953 span. So look at that, absolutely gorgeous as the sun is setting on the village of Clinton. Excuse me, I'm trying to see if my comments are working, but I've got a new streaming system that I am going to get hooked up here, and was just trying a new comment engine. Hey, there we got one comment on YouTube. Yes, that sunset is gorgeous. We're gonna come up over the whole village here. I gotta grab a picture of that. Hold tight a minute. Not a bad looking scene there. We are flying the Mavic 4 Pro right now. But that's it. There's the live view over the village of Clinton, my hometown. Should I leave it? Yeah, like a little brighter, that like that. Used to run around here almost for the first 20 years of my life. What a great place to grow up it was. We had the canal, the Ohio Erie Canal, running at the end of our street, and then the river, Tuscarawas River, just beyond that, and we played in that a bunch as kids. And then right about middle screen was the country corner. Now it's a car lot, but that used to be one of the best little corner stores as you were getting ready to head up and get on 21 from Clinton Road there. Definitely rode the bike there a bunch. I was just telling the story the other night about riding across the railroad tracks there. We had to be home by the time the street lights were on, and my cousin was riding with me, And I went across and I kept telling him, let's go, we got to be home. And the train was coming and he was hesitating, and he finally decided he was gonna come across the tracks, and he did. And to me, it looked like that train was about 5 feet from his back tire, even though I'm sure it was further than that, but at the time it really looked close. So luckily he's still here and actually just turned 50. He's born a little bit before me, so. And there's the village of Clinton. Goose Poop Park looks really nice in the winter. Them daggone geese are still there, though, I'll tell you. Another little place that used to have one of the best burgers around, the Chubby Burger, Chubb's Pub, right there. Hasn't been Chubb's Pub for many years, but and then back behind that used to be a barber shop, and I remember going in there and getting my hair cut when I was a kid. Matt Schwindeman was the barber, and you'd go in there and get to hear all the gossip around town. And then later in life, I used to go up to Ike's on the corner of Nemasilla and Manchester Road, and it was the same way. I didn't really care as much for the haircut, but it was always fun going in there and listening to the conversation as you were waiting to get into the chair. You could learn everything you needed to know about what was going on just by going there and getting a haircut. There's the Covered Bridge drive-through, same thing, a lot of memories there over the years. Me and some of the boys that lived in Clinton helped stock the shelves in turn for some free pop or whatever whoever was working would trade us for. And then another fun time that I can remember when I was real young was when it flooded. It flooded right up to the sidewalks of those buildings there, the brick buildings, from the back of my buddy's house that was over on the street that I grew up on, Dibble Drive. I'll get up behind the buildings and look that way. But just about the top of the screen now was Dibble Drive. It's coming into view. You can see the strip of houses. But this whole field, from the back of all those houses to Dibble Drive, was filled with water, and we took a John boat right from the middle of the screen. And my house was the one across the street with the barn in the back, and we went to this house right here, and about top of the hill there, it was water, so it was a big flood, and got to take that John boat all the way into Clinton. So, but what a great place to grow up that street was. At one time I got a picture at the end of the street with 21 kids all riding the bus. But had a lot of good times down on this street. A lot of great neighbors throughout the years. We used to have block parties down at the end of the street for Halloween. All kinds of fun. So let's go down here and check out the park. You got the Clinton Cemetery there. Actually, I'm gonna fly down and see the school building. The old Clinton School. Boy, that church is beautiful right now. Look at that. Yeah, sorry, I just seen the comment about the drive-thrus. Yeah, some places around the country that's not a thing, but I grew up with, the Clinton drive-thru. New Franklin right up the road had a drive-thru, still does. Canal Fulton had a drive-thru. And I was just looking at that the other night. It's like people don't realize, but it's so convenient to just pull through there and not have to get out of your car to get whatever you need. Can't imagine if they modernized them a little bit, had a little bit more actually. What great service though. Don't have to get out of your car and find a place to park. You just stroll through. The old Clinton Elementary here. I'm gonna point down here, make sure I'm past the wires. Built in 1910. My great-grandfather, Snyder, attended school here. And then I attended up until 4th grade. And then, I think it was 4th grade, we had school in the basement of the church over here, which has since been sold and now is a home. I'm gonna go back over here a minute. The old sign. But there it is, the old Clinton Elementary. I heard this was sold again, but I haven't seen anything officially. Looks weird without the bell tower up there. What's kind of weird is that place, the school, I think it was 9 or 10 acres, auctioned off 20 years ago, I think, for, I think it was $149,000. What a great deal that would have been at the time when it was still in great shape with all that acreage. There goes the sun, just barely hanging on. Man, what a gorgeous view. We'll go down here and look at the Ohio Veterans Memorial Park real quick. Figured the lights would have popped on by now. Of course, they might be covered up with all the snow. There's the back side of the wall. Gold Star Father and a Gold Star Mother statues. POW MIA reflecting pool and eternal flame down here. What a beautiful tribute this is. Got the tank display here. Looks cold. The Purple Heart Memorial. Korean war veterans that from Ohio that paid the ultimate sacrifice. All the conflicts with their Ohio names. Cobra up on display here. We got a cool time-lapse video a few years ago of Ken Noon painting the mouth and the eyes on the cobra. Look at those icicles hanging from that is cool. And we'll go up and look at the front side here. After we look at the Huey, this is supposed to go on post at the back of the memorial, and this will complete the display, the planned display. And the skid is meant to look like it's touching the top of the memorial wall. So when we go look at the front of the wall, just imagine this sitting at the back side of the park, up about 6 foot in the air, kind of like the Cobra, and then tilted, looking like it's the skid's touching the top of the wall, dropping guys off. So can't wait to see that come to fruition. It's going to be an amazing sight. Not that this is not amazing already, but what great vision they had when designing the layout of the park with that in mind. And that's the final piece of the puzzle. So can't wait to see that happen, and they can mark this as complete. So you can see the Cobra kind of sitting there, the same, about the same thing, looking like it's just above the wall. I gotta take this picture here. Oh, so sorry about that. Let's grab a picture real quick of this. But can you imagine now that Huey right over, lest we forget. In the middle there, it's going to be a beautiful sight. But that's it. Just thought we would share out the live view tonight from the Ohio Veterans Memorial Park here in Clinton, Ohio. What a gorgeous sight it is. Definitely come out here and check this place out if you've never. You'll be glad you did. If you have a veteran, bring them out here. Great place to spend some time. Used to love coming out here early in the mornings when the sun rising over the park. Haven't done that in a while, but so that's gonna do it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing our stuff out there. If you think someone might find it interesting, share it out with them. So signing off from Clinton, Ohio, over downtown Clinton, coming into view here again. It's Cliff with Buckeye Drone. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing our stuff out there. And until next time, we'll see ya.